morning, everyone. Today we are playing along with Ginger at Ginger's Corner, and we are doing scraps to embellishments. And today's embellishment is called Warm Wishes, and you can do anything you want as long as you're using warm colors. Now, I kind of have a variety of colors in mind, but most of them are warm. And so anyway, I kept thinking, oh, I'd like to have a white pumpkin. And anyhow, I opened up my Etsy store, because I have an Etsy store. I sell jewelry that I make. And anyhow, on the front cover, before you get to go to your page, you know, they have ads. And I see this, and it was actually on a cup. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's what I want for my embellishment. It's got a bunch of books, it's got the little pumpkin, and I just thought that'd be so cute. Now I decided so that it would fit in the envelope that it needs to fit in, that I would just do 5 books. So that's what I've done. And here's my embellishment. Oh, I gotta show it to you on this because it looks better than my inking mat. And isn't that adorable? Now I'm wondering, okay, I hope it does fit in my envelope. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can have like 4 inches to fit in the envelope. And let's see, and it's even a little shorter than it is wide. Okay, otherwise I'll have to leave the pumpkin off. I'll decide and just send it along. But, okay, I want to show you what I've done. Okay, well, first of all, I have a die that cuts out pumpkins. It actually cuts out 3 pumpkins. Well, the die comes with 3 pumpkins. And I'm only going to use 2 of them, the 2 smaller sizes. So I'm using these 2, and I've got various colors because I'm using scraps, except for the white, you know, it's white. And then I've got various colors of the leaves too, and then the books are also various color, but I tried to stick to the oranges. I got a little bit of ivory or off-white. I do have a gray, and then another orange, and then this one here is kind of a taupey or gray color depending on which scrap I had. So, oh, actually this one is, actually I thought it was kind of tan, but it looks a little more green. Go figure. Okay. So the first thing I did, I measured how I wanted my books to be, and I can put those measurements down below if you want to make this. And then after I cut them to this desired width and size, oh, and I used branding strips with the exception of this because I was looking for a gray color, and this is what was in my scraps. So I'm using that. But the rest of them are branding strips. So I took my little long rectangle branding strip and just kind of curved it a little bit. So you know how when you look at a book from at the spine, it kind of looks like it's a little bit curved. So I'm doing that. And lots of times I won't do the inking, but the inking made such a difference. I want you to see it. Okay, and now I'm going to move my wood because I don't want it to get messy. Okay, so I took this, and actually the pumpkins, I have white pumpkins totally by accident because we put the rotted pumpkins from last year in their garden, and we kept thinking, oh, look at all the squash we have growing out here. It's wonderful. I'm not kidding. And because it's like, I love squash. I love to freeze it because that way we have it, you know, year round. And yeah, we got white pumpkins instead, which are beautiful. Now I just want to grow them every year. Okay, so the pumpkin stem kind of looks twisted, so I'm trying to make lines that make it look a little more like that. And then I'm using green, brown, and black because those are the colors that are in the stem in real life, so that's what I wanted on here. Well, by the time that they're wanting to come off the stem, that's the colors. I found that very interesting. Okay, so I have that, and then let's see, I took the orange ink pen and just kind of made the curves they would have. So I did that first, and then I used my orange ink, which is called Carved Pumpkin. Go figure. I didn't even realize it. So no wonder it looked like just the right color. So since this is a lighter one, I'm gonna actually go over it a little bit more. But on the one side that's gonna tuck into the books here, I'm actually gonna go over it even more because that side will get shadowed by the books. So about like that. And then I actually took, no I didn't. Did I take the walnut stain? I think I might have went over it with the walnut stain too. And then I took the brown colored pencil and went over those lines just a little bit more. I mean, you gotta say, it's a good thing I'm only doing 6, right? And I'm putting a little more color up there. So about like that. And then, and I kind of did this to everything. By the end, I took the black soot and kind of went over it again. And I just like how that looked. I kind of went over the stem again and came down into the pumpkin just a little bit. Now this one is not quite as orange because the color was not quite as orange. So maybe, or my scrap, you know. So I'm gonna go over it just a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks better. Okay. And then I'll probably go over that again with the black soot because I want it to look darker in that one corner because that's where it's shaded. Okay, so that's that. And now for this one, I did the green leaves and then I thought maybe I'd like to do orange instead. So I'm gonna do some of those in this one. And I need 5. And so I'm gonna put some green on them too. And I'm using Rustic Wilderness because you know it's not just, they're never just one color. Okay, I've got 2 of the smaller leaves and 3 of the bigger ones. That's good because that way I got kind of a variety of sizes too. So I got the green on there, they're orange. And I realize the green doesn't really look green, but I just want to have it on there too. And then I'm going to use the walnut stain. Hubby's home. Say hi, hubby.
Hi, hubby.
That's funny.
Hello, mistress.
My comedian's home. Okay, I think that looks like pretty good color there. So there's my leaves. So I'm gonna push those to the side. Okay, since I got this on here, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, but I think I'm gonna go ahead. Now when they did the die, they got a hole here, which I don't know why. I'm sure it's supposed to be a highlight, but it's like, no, it's just a place where you're gonna have to put something unless you're gonna put it right on something, and mine are gonna be without anything behind them. So I'm gonna put, I think this is a 1-inch circle. I don't know, it's a circle that I have from, it's a, who is it? Martha Stewart punch. Oh, yes, it's exactly 1 inch. Okay. And it's kind of not glued enough. And now everything I touch is going to be every color. Okay, so now this is the other pumpkin. And so this is going to be the white one. And so first I'm going to go over it with, well, actually I should go over it with the walnut stain first, because otherwise I just want to ink the edges. Okay, so I'm going to do the stem and everything, and I'm trying to come down a little bit more onto the pumpkin. You can see I got my ink on there pretty good. Okay. Okay, and then I'm using my brown Crayola pencil. And I'm just going to go wherever the lines are. Where the little indents are. Or I guess embossing. And then I'm going to kind of go down a little bit into that. And I'm going to do again with some of the black into that. Kind of make the lines like they're sideways, because I told you they grow. They look all twisted. And I'm going to throw a little bit of green in there. Okay, so then I took this marker, and this is Fine Point by Creative Memories, and they're 100 years old. Oh no, they're like 24. You just knew I've had them forever. So again, I'm gonna go up into the pumpkin. I'm gonna bring a few lines down. So I'm just kind of hitting all the, those places where I've already went with the pencil. Okay, so I think that's pretty good there. Now I'm gonna put a little more on this side. We're gonna just keep shadowing this one side a little more. Okay, that looks pretty good there. Excuse me. All of a sudden I have dry throat. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Actually, I'm just gonna put a little bit more just by curving my pencil, my sponge. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good there. And so now I'm gonna set that aside. So now I've got leaves and pumpkins. Okay, and this, okay, I went and grabbed my cutter because some of the strips for the books I needed to make smaller than these that are normally roughly right around 1/2 inch. So, like, let's see, I'm gonna make this like my largest one, and I made that 3/8 of an inch. So I went to the 3/8 mark, and I'll tell you, if you have to go smaller, you got to you just got to hold it straight on the line. But even at this, you need to kind of figure out where your line is. And I used Carolyn's tip of putting washi on the piece of paper. And then also Janet had said if you got a flimsy piece of paper to start in the middle of it, not at the end. So I did that, because this one is well, no, actually this one's pretty good, but sometimes I moved it around, so this one I could actually use for the end because it is my color choice. And so I will have this if I make more. I'll tell you, I loved making the books because of how they started out and how realistic they looked when I was done. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick that out of the way because we're done with it. And then of course I taped them, or I didn't have to tape them to cut them to the height I needed them, or you know, the length this way. So okay, now we're back to inking again, and I kind of moved some stuff out of here. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and try to stay in. I'll try to stay in the thing here. Okay, so that's my first one. This is my second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one. And again, now one thing about this is the shadowing and little details is what really makes these look realistic. So I'm using the orange for this one, of course. And I might just go ahead and do both the orange ones now since I have it out. Now I had that picture to look at, and so if that helps you make a book, you know, print one out like I did, because I really love how the books look. I think they look very realistic. So I'm going to put those there. Okay, and again, I'm putting more on the bottom because that's where the shadow would be. But now this one is not quite as orange as the other, so I'm going to rub it across a little bit and make the whole thing a little bit more orange, because this is supposed to be about warm colors. Okay, so that's pretty good there. I'm just kind of bending it so it's flat. Okay, and then I'm gonna take maybe I'll take the black pencil, or maybe I should start with the brown, because on this end here I just kind of gave it the same shape that I cut the edge. And then I did this at this end also, even though you can't hardly tell it because I've, you know, covered that up with the leaf. And then I just kind of divided this into some sections. Now that's probably a little more than what I wanted, but and try to get them a little more closer to, or you know, more evened out here. And I guess I could have measured it, but you know, it's just getting covered up. Part of it's getting covered up anyway, but the part that sticks out, I think it looks very realistic. Okay, so then I went in with the darker color once I was happy with that, because that way I could kind of still kind of give a little bit of curve up at the first one, and then the next one a little straighter, and then when I get to the last one I give a little bit of a curve again before I get to this end, and I'll put a little bit more on with that. And kind of just building layers because it makes it seem so much more dimensional. And then I took, I've got these little white details, and I just did like kind of like a diamond shape. And so I just did the little diamond shape on here, just so there was a little pattern on it. I mean, you could, you know, do like a star or an asterisk or whatever you want in there. Flower if you want to doodle more. It's small, so you're not going to get too much in there. And then I did kind of go over it again because it's like with the ink, it did not stay real well, but it has since it dried. And these are, they don't even have a name on them. They got them, oh, they do have a name. Mr. Pen, and it's just a white gel pen. And now I'm gonna let that dry for a minute to make sure it's really dry. And in the meanwhile, I'll take this one, and now I can see I've got a rough edge on the bottom. Okay, but I guess I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so for the next one, oh, I was gonna go ahead and just make the next one orange while I still had this on here. So I'm gonna go around, make it orange. Now this one I'm leaving a little bit lighter, so it's not gonna be as dark as the other one. But I am gonna do just a little bit across there, but not make it as quite as dark. And remember, your bottom always needs to be a little darker. Okay, I think this one looks like it's probably dry, so I'm gonna go on to this now. Okay, so now that I've done that, I've got in like the other details. If you want this to be a little bit darker, then just go over it again. It's like I'm just trying not to go over it or, you know, make it too dark at first, just in case I don't like the detail too much. Then I noticed that, you know, here I put a line here and I'd rather had it there. So I just, you know, that's where I started making the dark lines. So it kind of give you a little bit more leeway on fixing that. Okay, and now I'm gonna go to the black soot, and I'm gonna kind of go everywhere around it again. And this time just more on the edge. But now this part that I want as my bottom, I'm gonna kind of shadow a little bit more on the left side, because that's where my darkest shadow is gonna be on everything I do. Because you kind of pick a point where your light's coming from. So the light's coming from the other side, so you get the shadow over there. And it looks like I could use a little bit more ink, because see how this one I got it darker, because it's, you know, got another, it's got pumpkin on top of it. It's like there's other things shadowing it, so I want a little bit more dark there. See how that's looking realistic? And I think I'm gonna go around and do the other part. Oh, and I hope I'm in screen. I'm looking at such a little mini screen. It's like I'm thinking, are they seeing anything? But I just love how these look at the end. Okay, so I got that done. And let's see. I will be putting some on this too, but I don't want to do it right away, just because it's easier to put in the lines first. And let's see, did I use the same color lines? I think looks like I used green on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I didn't do any lines up here this time. I just started in, you know what, like a quarter of an inch, and this time I did 2 lines right next to each other, because you know all books look different. And then I flip it around, do the other side. And I kind of curve those ones too, like the ends. But then after that, then it's like I get a little more straighter. And now I'm gonna do 2 in the middle. And let's see, it looks like I did. Okay, and then I did 1 closer to the, or the next 2 closer to the middle. And then I'm gonna leave that other space empty, so it doesn't look exactly like this one. Okay, so that's pretty good there. And then I'm gonna take the white again. And this time I'm just gonna make like a little line here and some little dots. And then I'll do the same over here. A line and some little dots. And sometimes you gotta go back over it because it seems like it must absorb into the paper somewhat. And then I'm gonna just make a little pattern. So I'm gonna do some little squigglies, and I just made kind of like little heart, kind of like a swirly heart. And then I did an upside down swirly heart, so that it just looked like some swirly pattern. And I did go over it twice. I know this is very detailed, but you know, if you decide to do it, you'll probably just be doing it for yourself. Unless you decide, you know, you're gonna do it for an embellishment sometime, just do the books or something. Because I just think this is so cute. Now, when I got to this part, I started to make swirlies and they didn't fit. So I just made more swirlies right in there. You know, if all else fails, just add more swirlies. So I'm just gonna make some kind of little pattern there. Okay, because they don't even have to look anything alike. And then of course, I'm gonna go back over them again. I guess I'm making like, it almost looks like a candy cane shape. And then I just do it again. That one doesn't look anything like anything else. Oh, and I just see it, if I did this like an S, then I get them both in at once. Ah, that's so much better. Well, it only took me 2 to figure that out. Okay, so I like that better. And then that won't take as long to dry as what the little diamond shapes did. Okay, but I'm gonna let it sit here and I'm gonna go on to this one. Now this one over here is ivory, this one's a little more gray. But I'm gonna use the, I'm gonna ink it around once with my walnut stain. I mean, now that I've done this with the little branding strips, I just want to make a little library. I know it's like kind of tedious, but I just think they're so cute. And I love making each book a little bit different and seeing it at the end. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of run a little bit on this edge, make it look like it's the best love book. You know, it's like they pull this one out a lot, so it looks a little grungier maybe. Okay, and then on this one, I'm gonna use little, I actually did like little orange hearts, and then I did like little, I don't know, like little, they kind of look like brown hearts too, but I'm just trying to get some orange and some brown on here. So I'm gonna do that all the way through. And I know this is gonna be a long video, but part of it is all the layering, and if you want to try to do it, I want you to be able to do it from my instructions. So if you want to, you know, go on through because you're not really interested in actually doing it, then just, you know where all the controllers are. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put some little brown hearts in here and there. And they might not be evenly distributed at all. I'm just gonna put them here and there. Okay. Now that one has a lot more pattern in it, but I'm gonna do that little curve at the top with my brown. Another one over here. And that's kind of all the pattern it's gonna get. And now I'm gonna use my brown again and go over it a little more shadowy. And I'm going to give it a quick swish over it like this too, because once you get the details on there, then you can kind of use a little more ink. And now I'm going to go over it with the black. And now make sure your hearts are facing the right way if you do something like that, because now again I'm going to do a little darker here on this one side. Okay, you see how I kind of swooped over that but didn't go over this another time. But that looks pretty good. And this one, since it got a lot darker than that one, I am going to put a little bit of white highlight on it. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good there. Okay, now this one here. This one here, I'm going to put some colored pencil down here on the end. To emphasize the edge. And then I'm going to, what else did I have on this one? Okay. Then I put a little bit of orange on this one. And I'm just going to do a line and maybe a bigger dot. Okay, and I don't think I'm doing any on that side. And then I'm doing the white pen for details again. And I think I'm just going to do a little bit of a line, a couple dots, and a little more line. And then just a line, and a line again, and then do the other side. Now this side isn't getting the orange, that's only at the top of the book. And do that curve, and do another curve, and then I'm going to do another curve, but a little more dotty on it, just to make it a little bit thicker. Maybe I'll do this one like that too. So maybe it looks like there's writing on the book. Okay, hope I didn't wipe that off. It looks like it's still good. Okay, I think I'm going to do a little bit of white right by the orange too, because it'll make the white or the orange stand out a little bit more. Okay. Now this one, I think I'm going to run, I think I want to run just a little bit of the brown on there. Trying to dry it a little. Oops, lost my book. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's mostly dry. So I'm going to kind of go over this with a little bit of the brown before I do the black, even though my color is gray. Now we're supposed to be using warm colors, so brown is it will warm it up a little bit too. Just help change that color a little bit. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back to the black. Whoops, look the same on both sides. Okay, so then I'm gonna go over this, and let's see, I want my orange on this side because that's my top of my book. And I might need to get a little more black soot. So I'm kind of going over a little heavier. And now this part down here on this one side, I'm going to hit that more because that's my shadow side. Okay, now look at how different it looks. I mean, I love it. And I might have to go hit these white spots just a little bit more. But I think before I do that, I'm going to find a name or a title on this. And I'm using these. They're Amy Tangerine and they're called Remarks. And I'm just going to use, oh, I like everything. It's a good idea, but it's way too big. Just plain wonderful. Oh, let me see if that will fit. That's cute. Oh, it's going to be quite tight, but I'm going to see if I can fit it on there. Okay, just plain wonderful. It looks like that book is thicker than this one. I'll have to see if my other ones are any different in size. This one's maybe a smidgen thicker. Okay. So this book is called Just Plain Wonderful. That's a good book to read. Okay. So then I'm just gonna doodle over those whites again. So I'm just kind of doing dots this time. Well, I'm still gonna do some lines here. I just think the dots kind of look like maybe it's writing from, you know, a distance. Okay. And I'm going to go over my orange one more time. Now, one thing about the marker is you got to wait for the marker to dry after, you know, once you've inked it, it gets a little less absorbent. Okay, so now that one goes there. But I still need, now the only thing this one needs is the black soot. Remember, a little bit more on the one side. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. See, I'm going to change this. I'm going to run the orange over it just a little bit more because I think I'd like a little more orange on it. Okay, I like that better. Okay. I was thinking it'd be really cute to do them with like gold too, like a gold pen. Okay, so now this one here, I'm going to use the brown. And I'm going to put, oh, I didn't even ink it first, but that's okay. This maybe be more absorbent this way. I'm going to do, let's see, I think I did like 3 lines up here because I want them all to look a little different. Right here. And this is kind of a reddish brown. It's a real pretty color. And then I'm going to go down a ways and make some, do like 3 lines, but a little more separated than the ones up at the top. And then do the same over here. Is it about the same? Okay. And then in there, I'm going to make like little diagonal lines and then diagonal the other way so it looks like there's little X's on there. just to have a different pattern. Okay, that's pretty good there. And then here I just made a line and drew like little leaves on it. And I just made them symmetrical, so I mean it just to look like a pattern. And since that's the top of my book, I'm gonna make them go the same direction here. And now this part would be really pretty in gold too. Okay, so that's really good there. Okay, now I'm gonna go over it with my walnut stain first. Got to keep all my sponges what they belong to. Somebody's really trying to get a hold of me. The drums are my text. Okay, and I think everything's drying up. Okay, and I'm gonna go over that. And now I'm kind of hitting it all because I'm trying to make it just a little more brown. Okay, and this is my top here, so I want to do a little bit more brown here on the bottom. And I'm going to do the one across. Okay, now I'm going to hit it again with this. I'm always saying hit it. Hit it. Because it does seem like I'm hitting it. Okay, so now I'm going to go over it again with the black soot. I almost called it black espresso. I do have espresso. Okay, but now I'm going to do much more on this one side and on the bottom. And I think I'm going to do a few strips this way too. Whoops. And I look lovely. Okay, I'm going to do just a little bit more. Okay, so that's what I've got. Okay, and I mean, I think that they're looking really good. This one I wish it was a little bit bigger. I might have to recut those because I do like it a little bigger. Okay, so now where's my other thing of words? Here they are. Okay, now I'm using Tim Holtz Ideology, what are they called? Clippings sticker book. Okay, so I'm going to use some words out of here. Okay, here's one that's called The Story. That would be cute. Where is it? I've lost it. One of the best to understand. Her eyes gleamed. Heart to heart. Brave girl. Oh my gosh, these are all so good. I'm going to use The Story. Because over here I said here's the story, so that way I got on both these. And I'm shooting for the middle. Let's see, if I go over that a little bit, does that change the color? I surely would think it would with Tim's stuff, since these are his inks. Okay, I'm going to go over that a little bit. I'm going to go over this one a little bit. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty good. Okay, now we're down to all the inking is done. It's just time to put it together. Okay. So I had to take a strip because, you know, otherwise it's not connected any place. And oh boy, this glue feels so light. I must have filled the other one the other day. Okay. And I'm just going to start putting some glue here. I'm putting enough maybe to do three or four of them. Okay, this is definitely my bottom one. Just in case I grab the wrong one, I need to make sure because I want them layered in the same way. And I guess I got on a lot of glue because it sure is slippery right now. Okay, and I need to have it tilted correctly. Okay, and then I need my one orange one, and I will put all the measurements down below It's like, I think the longest one was 2 and I'm looking to see if I have it the right direction. Yeah, 2 and 5/8. Okay, now just plain wonderful. Okay, I don't have too much glue there, but I think it's plenty. And I'm just like buttoning them right up next to each other. This one looks a little too long too. I'll have to save this one and make another one. Okay. And then I have this one here. And then the little orange one. I've got glue there. Had to make sure I didn't run out of glue. Okay, now it's time for the pumpkin. So I mean, it's like everything is pretty easy because once you get all the details on there, which is really all the inking. Okay, now the way that this is shaped, I need it to come over the book because otherwise it doesn't sit well, or it doesn't look like it's sitting right. Okay, and then I'm gonna put some glue right on this side. I wasn't gonna add this pumpkin, and then my sister said, oh, it looks like you need some orange, more orange. And then I did make my leaves orange. And I really like how they've turned. Okay, so I definitely want this big one up on the top pumpkin. And I'm just gonna put the glue right behind this little dried part of the vine. Oh, and I got too much because I really don't want it on the back of the. Okay, oh, I actually pulled this a little bit to the front. I forgot. Because I kind of wanted the pumpkin to look like it was entangled in it. Okay, so I'll be good. And then I put, let's see, which one did I put down here? Okay, and then I put one down here. I think I curved it that way. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, so this one can have quite a bit of glue, or more than the other ones, because the other ones kind of dangle off into the air. So I'm just going to put it right here, like just maybe like there's a vine like behind it or something. Okay, and this one here, I'm actually just going to glue it right behind the pumpkin so it just sticks up. Okay, now my leaves. Okay, and I kind of bend them a little bit. I realize once I get into a scrapbook, it's going to be all different. Okay, so I'm going to glue part of that and put this leaf on it. And then I'm going to put a couple leaves down the edge here. Let's see, I'll go ahead and put it here. And put one down here. put one right here on the pumpkin, but I think I'll just glue this. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, I gotta wipe that off a little. Okay, 4 is what I used. Okay. So there it is, my one green, my one orange leafed ones. I just think they turned out so cute. I just loved making them. Loved making the books. And the other stuff was easy. So here, let me put them on this because they look so much cuter when they're on the wood. Look at that. They're gonna be so cute on a page, I think. Yeah, and I definitely got that one book smaller. And so I'll have to recut that one because that's the one piece that I had more of, that I had a big chunk of it. Okay, so that's it for today. Everybody who is making embellishments today, videos, they will be listed down below. And also there is a link that will take you right to all the people making embellishments, where you can just watch them all one right after another. So thank you for joining me. Oh, also, if you decide that you want to swap with us or join in the YouTube Hop, then just let Ginger know over at Ginger's Corner, and her Facebook group and her YouTube channel are listed below. So have a wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.